Hey creators, the video that you're watching right now was filmed on the Osmo Pocket 3 and edited and uploaded from CapCut for PC. Osmo Pocket 3 is a powerhouse of a camera. It is absolutely perfect for beginners, and CapCut is the same thing, lots of robust features, beginner friendly. Now I'm going to show you step by step exactly how I made this happen. I want to stress this video is for beginners. If you have the Osmo Pocket 3 and CapCut for PC and you want to upload your first YouTube video, well, you're in the right place. The goal of this video is to give you the confidence and the know-how to go ahead and shoot, record, and upload your very first YouTube video. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I set up my Osmo Pocket 3 as far as framing and resolution. So quite simply flip the thing on and get it to look back at you by clicking 1, 2, 3 on the joystick. Now from here, I usually have it not tracking my face as soon as it flips around. So to track your face, I like to double click your face and I'll go ahead and hit record on the Osmo. So once we're double clicked on my face, you can see the green box around my head. And right now you can see that it's following my head as I move around. So what I want to do is I want to get that picture that's right behind me and put it centered in the frame or just the way that I like it. I'll click my face one more time and you'll see that the gimbal head is now locked. So now from here, I can just go ahead and just start recording my video. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you in and show you how I expose for my videos in the Osmo Pocket 3. So I'm going to push stop here. What I want to do is I want to scroll up from the bottom and you'll be met with this frame rate, resolution, and frames per second. So you definitely want to click the 4K. We like to use 24 frames per second. So I want to make sure that's clicked. So I'll scroll back down. Of course, we want to make sure that we're filming in landscape for YouTube. And we want to swipe from the left to go ahead and set our exposure values. So I'll go ahead and hit the exposure button. And right now you can see that my exposure value is at 0.0 and I want my shutter speed, that's what this number is, to be double my frame rate. So I want this to be at 1/50. If I was recording in 30 frames per second, I would want that at 1/60. That's to get that cinematic motion blur. Then over here is my ISO range. And right now what I could do is I can change this and I can adjust it based on what I see on the screen. So you can set it at a range, and what that means is it'll never go above that range that you set. So I like to keep mine just a little underexposed. You can see at 0.0 or negative 0.03. I think that'll be just about right. So I'll go ahead and hit confirm. Now, as far as white balance, you can leave this on auto white balance and the camera is going to pick whatever it thinks the white balance should be. If you want to lock that, you can hit the manual button and it's going to be locked at that number, or you can set it manually based on how you want it to look or what kind of lights you're using. But for the purpose of this video, I 9 times out of 10 just leave this thing on auto white balance because that's one less thing that I got to think about. So I'll go ahead and hit confirm, auto white balance, and right now I have my color profile in D-Log M, and I like to use this to get the most dynamic range out of my shots, but you can totally record in normal. So you can see in the normal color profile, it doesn't look bad. It's a little underexposed. So you can change that to D-Log M. You can add a color grading LUT to make your footage pop a little bit more, or you can just leave it in normal. So I think for the purpose of this video, we're just going to go ahead and leave this in normal. And on my screen, I can see that we're a little underexposed. So I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to increase my ISO, and I think right there is about right. So I'll go ahead and hit confirm. So now this bad boy is fully set up and ready to record. What I have behind me is just a simple softbox up there. I have the setting at maybe 20% just to give a little light down on my head. I also have a little edge light that I use from time to time. But what I want to do is I want to basically control the lighting. It's the middle of the day right now. So I have the window blocked off as well as I can. And I'm going to go ahead and get my Osmo Pocket 3. I'm going to set it up exactly centered on my laptop screen because I know that is centered on this picture behind me. And this is typically how I film my talking head setups. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some ambient lighting. So in regards to lighting, yes, it helps if you can have controlled lighting in a dark room like I just had. But when you first get started, all you really need is the sun. Don't ever record using the lights that are coming from the ceiling because the frequency may not match the frequency on your lens, in which case you'll see the jitters inside the footage. So right now you can see I'm inside of a sunroom with pretty good light. You don't want direct sunlight on your face, but you just want to find just the right position where kind of half your face is not illuminated and the other half is. If you're in direct sunlight, you're going to see all of your wrinkles and all of your, all the marks in your face, which if you're a spring chicken, you probably don't care. But, if you're like me, well, I kind of care a little bit. But yeah, so the point is you don't need lighting. All you need is a sun. So just find a good place where the light looks, I think about right there, looks good. That's all it takes. If you buy the creator combo, it comes with this DJI Mic 2, which is a fantastic camera. It's got a little magnet clip on there, a little wind muff. If you got to use this if you're outside, obviously when we're inside, we don't got to use that. So you can simply take this guy, peel that off, and then you can clip this right on your shirt. But it's kind of heavy, so it's up to you how you want to use it. I just get this little lavalier mic right here, and what I'm going to do is just plug this bad boy into there, put this in my pocket, and clip this on my shirt so that it's not as obvious that I'm wearing a mic. And when you have the creator combo, you just simply turn on your Osmo Pocket 3, you get your DJI Mic 2, and you push the power button or press and hold the power button for a few seconds. You can see it go on. You can see the blue light on. And then on your screen, you should see this message pop up, letting you know that it's there. And you can see this green line. So if I talk into the mic like this, you can see the waveform dancing as it goes. So when I do my more professional talking headshots and I got to walk around, I'll just simply plug this lavalier mic into the top, stick that thing in my pocket, and I'm good to go. So this is the audio with the lavalier mic clipped to my shirt. Now I want to show you what the audio sounds like without this mic. Just unplugged it. This is the audio on the internal microphones on the Osmo Pocket 3. Not horrible, but having this mic is a huge upgrade. So do yourself a favor and get the creator combo. Or when I'm at my desk, I like to put this bad boy on a little magic arm and just keep it near my face. And that's how I record my tutorials and my talking head tutorial videos. So another method of getting your audio nice, especially if you're going to be sitting right in front of the edge of your desk, is to just use like a mic stand. What I have is a magic arm, and what I like to do is just clamp this onto the edge of my desk near my computer screen. I can then get this microphone adapter, which what this does is it just turns your Osmo Pocket 3 DJI Mic 2 into a traditional microphone. I usually stick this guy right in here so that it's near my mouth. Hit the on button, put this guy over it, and then I have audio as I sit here and edit and show you how to edit. All right, it's go time. I got my scripts right here on my iPad so I can remember what I'm going to talk about. Get my Osmo Pocket 3. Hey YouTube, the video that you're watching right now was filmed, edited, recorded. Fuck. Oh snap, I think we got it. So most YouTube videos are comprised of A-roll and B-roll, and the B-roll, the purpose of it is to add context to what you're talking about on the screen. And for B-roll, you just want to keep it short and simple. And if you have the Osmo Pocket 3, you definitely want to utilize that stabilization. It'll just make your videos look a lot better. Again, the key is only a few seconds at a time, keep it short and simple, and that goes for your talking head stuff as well. I'm going to give you a quick example on how I filmed some B-roll. So I have my Osmo Pocket 3 in tilt lock mode. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is flip to that camera. I'm going to get B-roll of myself recording B-roll by simply taking my joystick. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Now it's flipped around. And what I want to do is just do very intentional motions. So I think I'm going to come straight in at the camera. And so I got this light over here and I just want to make sure I shine it on the camera so that hopefully you can see it a little better. Let's maybe turn that up a bit. Okay, perfect. So what I want to do is very slow and intentional movements. So on this one, I'm just going to go straight towards the camera and then back as smoothly as I can. And now I'm going to go ahead and get an orbit shot of the camera. And again, this could be anything. Right now, I just have the camera in front of me and I can't record the Osmo Pocket 3 with itself. So I'm just showing you some examples of how to get some B-roll. So now these B-rolls, we're going to take them and we're going to sprinkle them into the video where they make sense. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. Okay, now it's time to transfer the footage. And so the best way to do that is you just want to take the cable that came with Osmo Pocket 3. You want to go ahead and plug it into your computer. You want to go ahead and flip it on, and then you're going to want to stick this cable right into the back, and then it's going to go into file transfer mode. So then you want to go ahead and hit file transfer on the screen of your Osmo, and then you'll see it appear right here on the screen of your Mac or your computer. I'm not sure how it works on Windows, but I'm sure it's very similar. So now what I can do is I can open up the SD card that is the Osmo, open up DCIM, and then I'm going to navigate to the folder so you can see that I have all these clips from the Osmo Pocket 3 that I shot today. A lot of them are bloopers, but hopefully we got some good stuff in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer those into, I have this Samsung T9 2 TB also plugged into my MacBook, and that's where I'm going to transfer my footage. So with those two drives open, I'm going to go ahead and come over here to my T9. I'm going to go to YouTube, and I'm going to go ahead and make a new folder that is Osmo. So I'm going to make a project folder here in my T9 drive. I'm going to double click that. I'm going to make a new folder called OP3. Obviously, that stands for Osmo Pocket 3. And so what I'm doing is I'm creating folders for each one of the cameras that I use for the purpose of this video. If all that you're using is the Osmo, then obviously all you need is that one folder because that's all the footage that you're going to have. I need to use multiple cameras to illustrate the points on how to use the Osmo Pocket 3. So I'll go ahead and open my Osmo in my OP3 file inside of my project folder, and I'm going to navigate over here to the Osmo, and all that we need to download are these files that say MP4. So I'm going to go ahead and click the first one that's labeled today, and I'm going to hold command, and I'm just going to go ahead and grab all these files, and then I'm just going to drop them right here. And then you'll see the transfer take place immediately. It gives you a little estimate on how long it's going to take. Okay, looks like the transfer is complete. So now I can go ahead and exit out of here. Let's go ahead and right click and eject SD card. I can now unplug my Osmo, and then I can repeat the process with any other cameras that I use. Make sure they all go into that folder so that we can then import those bad boys into CapCut. Okay, so now that we have all of our files uploaded, all of our cameras, including the music I want to use from Epidemic Sound, it's time to go ahead and open up CapCut. So once we're in CapCut, we're going to go ahead and hit Create New Project. Once we're in our window, the first thing we got to do is go to Modify. We're going to name the video. So down here where it says aspect ratio, I'm going to go ahead and click 16:9 for YouTube. If you just leave it at original, it should automatically go to 16:9, so long as you filmed in landscape, but I'll click it anyway. I always leave resolution as adapted. Frame rate is always at 24 frames per second. I leave this at Rec 709. Now, I filmed with several different cameras, and every single one of those cameras was set up to film at 24 frames per second. So depending on what you like, if you film in 30, whatever it is, make sure that your frame rate that you edit in matches that which your camera was shot on. So I'll go ahead and hit save. Now we got to go ahead and import the goods. Let's go to the import button. I'm going to navigate to my drive. My T9 drive, I'm going to go to YouTube, and this is the project folder that we just created. And so I have all of my files saved in there. So what I can simply do is just double click it. And now that's going to import every single file, and it's going to appear right here. So now I can go ahead and double click, and I can go ahead and get started. So for the intro of this video, what I wanted was the Osmo Pocket 3. So these are all the individual video clips. And so what I want to do is start with the beginning, which actually wasn't the beginning, but here we go. Let's see. Okay, so I found my intro and where I want to start. And so I have my over here like a little preview of the different parts I can scroll through. So you can see that I can grab the end of the player window, and I can cut it right here before I even import it, or I can just go ahead and import the whole thing, and then I can use the waveform down below to kind of help me get my point across. So the general way that this happens is when you upload a video, it's going to drop it into the timeline right where your player head window is. This is your player head window, and this is a tool that helps you kind of move things around and keep things organized as you go. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just go through my main talking head, and so the very first thing that I typically do is I'll select the clip. I'll come up here to audio, and I'll go ahead and normalize the loudness. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and isolate voice because I have a couple of fans going off in the background. And so we're just going to let CapCut do its magic and just wait for it to finish loading. Okay, so now that the audio is good, I'm going to go ahead and select it, and you can see that the waveform down below, there's orange, there's peaking, so we don't want any peaking. So what we want to do is, and what peaking is, by the way, is it's like clipping. So the sound of my voice is louder than what I guess the speaker can play, so you'll get a lot of crackling noise if you try to play this on like small speakers, or I guess any speakers. But one thing that we can do is we can go to audio, and we can drag this slider and bring that down so that it's no longer peaking. Or we can grab this little line on the waveform itself. The waveform is just the audio, so you can see I can manipulate the waveform. And so before I even start chopping this up, I want to get that audio just right. And I found that for my voice, I always end up leaving it at -11.8. So now I have my audio exactly the way that I always want it. I can go ahead and start chopping up this clip. Okay, so next what we want to do is we want to cut out all the dead spaces and cut out all the parts that we don't want to use on our main talking head. And we can do that by grabbing this playhead and dragging it by putting your cursor over it and grab it. You can kind of drag it. And so what I want to do is I want to drag it to right here ahead of this waveform. This is where having the waveforms visible is very handy. And one thing I could do to help myself out is I can adjust the waveform size by selecting these three dots off to the side, and I can select the waveform size, and I can increase that to 60%. Now you see the waveform is way more visible, and that is my audible voice. So I know I want to start the video right here. So this is where we're going to start cutting it up. So there's a couple different ways that we can do this. And one way is we can leave our player head window right where we want to cut it, and we can use these tools up here, which are the split, delete left, or delete right. But then you can see that there's keyboard shortcuts. So when you hover your mouse over the tool, it shows you the keyboard shortcut. And what you want to do is try to utilize those keyboard shortcuts. So what I can do is I can come over here and I can hit Q, and what that's going to do is it's going to delete everything to the left of that player head window in this singular track. So I'll go ahead and hit Q, and boom, everything to the left is gone. This is why doing the audio, getting that just right before you start cutting it comes into play, so you're not having to readjust the audio on this track repeatedly. So now what I typically do is I'll come to the end of that waveform, and I'll go ahead and hit Command B, and that makes a cut. And I can come over here and I can hit Command B again, and then I can go ahead and delete that dead space, right? That's one way to do it. Or what I can do is I can come over here to the end of this waveform, and I can hit Command B, and then over here I can hit Q, and that's going to delete everything to the left. So two ways to do exactly the same thing, but that's usually the first step, is cut out all the dead spaces, and then we're going to go back through and cut out all the junk. Okay, so I got just the parts I want to keep right here on the timeline. There's no dead spaces. And so now what I can go ahead and do is start uploading some B-roll. Okay, so right out of the gate, when I say Osmo Pocket 3, I'm going to go ahead and go back, and I'm going to come to my iPhone footage, and I'm going to go ahead and just take a little clip of me setting up this camera. I'm grabbing the left side of this player window, and I'm bringing it to just the part that I want it to start at, which is me taking the Osmo out of its case. And then on the end, I'm going to go ahead and drag it to the part right where it's being done set up. So now what I can do here is I can grab the highlighted portion, and I'm going to drag and drop it right there on my timeline where my player head is. And you can see that because that layer is on top, CapCut is going to give priority to that inside the player window. And so this is just how I'm going to add the B-roll to give context to the A-roll as we go throughout. So I think I'm going to go ahead and speed this track up I'm going to go ahead and select it. I'm going to hit speed, and then I can adjust my speed right here. I can double it or make it faster. So I'm just going to give it, I don't know, about that much. And I'm just going to play it back and see how it looks. Okay, so after watching it a few times, I think I want to go ahead and slow this down. And one thing I can do is select that, come back up here to speed, and then you'll see these little handles appear down here on the track itself, as I could actually drag that and make it match the end of this clip. I can actually chop up the B-roll to my liking as well. So what I can do is I can go ahead and move my player window to where I want this to start and stop. So I think that I'll stop this guy right there, and I can actually slice off the beginning of this too. So maybe I'll slice it off there, and then I'll add a little more B-roll of me getting B-roll. One thing you got to be careful of is that your B-roll also has audio built into it. And if you let them both play, then audio from both will play at the same time. So what I can do is actually just get that audio and drag it down, or I can delete the audio out of it altogether by muting the track. But I usually just like to bring the volume down as I throw it in there. Okay, that was it. That was the intro. I think I'm happy with the A-roll, happy with the B-roll. Okay, that was it. My intro is recorded. I'm pretty happy with A-roll and the B-roll. All dead space is cut out. The B-roll makes sense in the order that it was played. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and edit the rest of the video exactly the same way, where I'm going to insert my A-roll, adjust the audio, chop it up, and then once I'm happy with it, drop my B-roll on top of it in places that make sense. And once I'm all done with that, I can go ahead and export. So up here in the upper right-hand corner, we can go to the export button, and I'm going to go ahead and navigate back to that same project folder where we imported from so that all my files are in one place. So YouTube, boom, I'll make a new folder called exports. And then from here, I'll go to open, and I'm going to make sure that I'm exporting in 4K for YouTube. Osmo Pocket 3 records in 4K, which is a good thing. Hit the export button, and it's going to do its thing and land right there in that folder. Okay, so now that this bad boy is exported, we can go ahead and upload it into YouTube. So I'm going to go ahead and come over here to my YouTube. So this works directly online on the Mac. I like to use Friendly Streaming for PC. So what I can do is go ahead and go to my channel. I can go to this create button right here, and I can upload a video. Now from here, I'm going to go ahead and select that file that I just exported. There it is. So I'll select that and press open. So now it's going to go ahead and start uploading. Now for the title and description, that's a whole nother video by itself, but I highly recommend that you use ChatGPT to help you find a good title and description, and just copy and paste. Complete YouTube video using only Osmo Pocket 3, filming to upload. Now I'm just gonna type in the description bar, basically a short paragraph describing what the video is about. So now we need to go ahead and upload a thumbnail. Usually a thumbnail can be very simple. It could just be a screenshot from the video itself, along with just a 4-word title on it that describes what the video is about. I highly recommend that you use Canva to make your thumbnails. There's templates built right in. They do have a free version of Canva. All right, here's an example thumbnail. We're going to let that upload. So now from here, I can go ahead and assign it to a playlist. I got an Osmo Pocket 3 playlist. I'm going to scroll down, and it's going to ask you if it's made for kids or if it's not made for kids. Unless you're making videos for kids, you got to select no. Otherwise, your video will be shown only to kids. So I'll go ahead and hit no, it's not made for kids. There is no age restriction. My video contains paid promotion. You got to click that if you are getting paid to make the video in any way, shape, or form. Altered content, we're going to select no. And then from here, we're going to add hashtags. All right, language, obviously select your language. I'm going to select how to style on my category. I'm going to go to next. So I'm not going to add subtitles, but I am going to add an end screen. So YouTube makes it really easy to add end screens or cards. So what a card is if I were talking about a product or talking about a specific video at a specific point in time, and I point like this to a link, that, like, you've seen YouTubers do that. That's where this comes into play. and end screen is just at the end of it, it'll ask you to subscribe or it'll show you a different video. So YouTube will automatically pick what it thinks is best. And you just simply select one, save, and move on. So move on to the next one. It's going to check if you have any copyrights, no issues. Move on to the next one. So now here, what you want to do is go ahead and select public. Right, public, and then you can schedule it for a day in the future, or you can publish it now. So now the last step to do is just published, and congratulations, you just uploaded your very first YouTube video. And this is how I do my YouTube videos, by the way. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate your time. If you could, please hit that like and subscribe. And if you enjoy CapCut content, please check out Trevor Jones' Master CapCut class. That's the class that I took that helped me get to where I'm at, making videos for not only myself, but other brands that I work for. So thanks, guys. Peace.